The sapphire crown was worn by Queen Victoria in 1842. It was commissioned for her by Prince Albert in 1840, the year of their wedding, and made by the court jeweler Joseph Kitching. The design sketch for the crown was created by Prince Albert himself, who loved to pamper his beloved wife with precious jewelry of his own design. The design of the crown was based on the Gothic ruffle crown from the coat of arms of Prince Albert. The 1840s in England were the heyday of the neo-Gothic style, which was loved by Queen Victoria herself and her husband. In 1842, the Queen even held a medieval-style masquerade ball for the christening of the Prince of Wales. The sapphire crown is a transformable decoration. It consists of 23 sections, thanks to which it can be connected, turning into a miniature diadem, or opened and used as a tiara. The connections of the sections are made so finely that the seams are practically invisible and the crown looks solid in any form. The design of the crown consists of an openwork base, decorated with 11 large sapphires, on which runs a lambrequin, an ornament of repeating scallops, topped with diamond trifoliates and single round diamonds. Most of the crown jewels were taken from pieces given to Victoria by King William IV and Queen Adelaide. According to Victoria's personal ledger, the jeweler was paid £415 to make it. When creating new jewelry, Prince Albert often relied on those already in Victoria's collection so that the jewelry could be worn as sets. Thus, the sapphire crown became a wonderful addition to the sapphire and diamond brooch, which he gave to Victoria on the eve of their wedding. Victoria was very fond of both the brooch and the new crown and chose them for the first portrait commission from Winterhalter, painted by the artist in 1842. This portrait is very interesting because, being an official image of the sovereign, it is also very sentimental. It shows us a young woman who sincerely loves her husband. Queen Victoria is depicted in the portrait without official royal regalia and against a neutral landscape background, the main space of which is occupied by the pre-storm sky. She is wearing an elegant, but rather laconic dress made of white satin and lace. Her hair is styled in a fashionable hairstyle with a low bun at the back of her head, which is decorated with a closed sapphire crown. The wedding brooch is pinned to the bodice of the dress, and on the Queen's neck you can see another very personal decoration, a pendant, which, as researchers suggest, contains a lock of Prince Albert's hair. In her hand there are only a couple of roses, and such an atypical official portrait of the Queen could be a kind of tribute to the outstanding Flemish painter of the 17th century, Anthony van Dyck, who created many portraits of members of the English royal house. Everyone liked the portrait of Queen Victoria so much that immediately after its completion, Winterhalter was ordered several copies, one of which was intended for King Louis Philippe of France. In the French version of the portrait on Victoria's shoulder, Winterhalter added the symbol and shoulder ribbon of the Order of the Garter, of which the English monarch is the sovereign. There are other paintings in the royal collection that show Victoria wearing a sapphire crown. In one of them, a miniature portrait by Robert Thorburn, Victoria is written sitting half-turned and squeezing the hand of the Prince of Wales, who is looking at her. The Queen is wearing a dark green velvet dress in a medieval style, the sleeves of which are trimmed with fur, and the neo-Gothic crown perfectly complements this image of a beautiful lady. After the death of Queen Victoria, the crown passed into the possession of successive kings, and in 1922 it was given by King George V and Queen Mary to their daughter Princess Mary as one of the gifts for her wedding to Henry, Viscount Lascelles and the future Earl of Harewood. So the crown left the royal collection. After Princess Mary's death, the Harewoods sold many of her jewels, but the crown remained in the family collection until 2011. It was then sold to a private English buyer, who 5 years later also decided to sell the jewel by putting it up for auction. This sale became a high-profile one, since the potential buyer was a foreigner and one of the most significant English jewels could soon leave the country. The British Minister of Culture imposed a temporary ban on export, and within a year the issue with the crown was resolved. In 2017, it was bought by billionaire and V&A Museum patron William Bollinger and donated the crown to the museum, where the jewel took center stage in the William and Judith Bollinger Jewelry Gallery.